Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to share my little tips and tricks for creating the perfect wing liner, or trying to get it to be as perfect as possible. And honestly, doing wing liner is not the easiest thing in the world. It does take some practice, but I have picked up on a few little tips and tricks that have really helped me with my liner, and I really love the way that this makes my eyes look, especially doing the eyeliner in this technique that I'm going to show you guys. So I really hope that you find this video helpful, and let's get started. Okay, so first, to actually see where you want to angle your wing or your flick, I like to follow the curve of my lower lash line and bring it out from there. But you could also take a brush or a pencil and just place it at the edge of your nose, going up towards your hairline, so kind of where the edge of your brow is, and that's sort of the angle where you want to create your wing. So you want to make sure that you're using a liner that has a nice pointed tip, but also something that's pretty sturdy. I really like this one by Kat Von D. This is the tattoo liner, and you can see that the tip is really fine, so it's really nice to work with. And I like to just apply some to the back of my hand first, just to make sure the tip is nice and moist and saturated so it glides better onto the eye. Okay, so now to create my wing, I'm taking my liner and I'm gonna start at the corner using really small strokes. Although this might look really crazy and like long right now, don't be shy when it comes to doing this, because it will all come together in the end. And don't worry about this line being perfectly clean and sharp right now, because we will be coming back to touch that up a little bit later. So moving on to the main portion of the eye, I'm going to take my liner and making really small strokes really close to my lash line, and trying to keep this shape pretty rounded as opposed to drawing a completely straight line, because I really want to emphasize and bring out the roundness of my eyes to accentuate the shape. So I think it's always best to start really close to the lashes and then just build up the thickness to how you want it, because it's always easier to build up rather than to, take away. So I'm not really going to be touching like the outer portion of the eye just yet. And next I'm going to go back to that flick, and then using the belly side of the eyeliner, I'm going to place it at the tip of that line and then connect it down and across to that bottom line. And then just fill in any of the bare areas. And doing your eyeliner in this particular technique is what really gives this liner that special look. I think it's very flattering, and to me personally, it's the easiest way for me to do a wing liner. So now I'm just going back and just touching up a little bit. I did kind of mess up in like the inner portion. I think it's just the extra pressure of making this video. I don't know what happened, but I think it's also good, so you can actually see how to fix it if you did kind of mess up. So I just took a slightly damp Q-tip and just corrected that little bump, and then I went back with my liner just to touch it up. So now I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So even though the Kat Von D liner is amazing, one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the glossiness or shininess of it. So I'm gonna take this matte eyeliner. This one is by NYC. It has a beautiful matte finish, and I'm just gonna go on top of that liner just to really mattify and darken up that black color. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take a little bit of concealer using a really precise brush. I'm going to just clean up and sharpen that edge, and then I'll be taking a flat brush to blend that out. I don't do this step every single time that I apply my liner, but sometimes if the edge isn't as clean or like crisp as I'd want it to be, or if I'm just going for a super flawless look, then this is just a nice little extra touch. So here's one I done, and I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to go on to the other side. So first, creating that flick on the outer corner and trying to get them to match as close as possible. They're not always going to be exactly the same, of course, but trying to get it about there. And then creating little strokes really close to my lashes, trying to keep the shape pretty rounded, and then just gradually building up the thickness. And then again, using the belly side of that liner to draw a line from the tip of the wing down and across to meet the rest of the liner, and then just fill in the space. And I'm pretty happy with how that looks, so I'm going to go back with my matte liner, and I'm just going to be applying that anywhere where I applied the other one. Again, just to give it a really matte and very dark black finish. And this step with going back and using some concealer to touch up on the line, I think this is really great for people who might not be able to get that very fine line, and I feel like it really just makes the eyeliner look like really high quality and professional looking. So definitely try this tip if you struggle with your liner. So here is the eyeliner done on both eyes, and I want to show you how I do it when I apply some falsies. So here I'm just taking these ones by Ardell. These are the Demi Wispies. They're very beautiful lashes. They're very natural looking, but they still add a lot of volume and length. So I'm applying those first, and as you can see, the glue is white, but it does set to like a clear color, but it can sometimes be a little bit glossy. So just to make sure that that lash line is completely covered in black, I'm going to go back with my matte black liner and just go over that lash line. Also, if you don't necessarily have a matte black liner like this and you want to mattify your eyeliner, you can just use some black eyeshadow with a flat angled brush and just press it on top of the liner, and it will give you a very similar effect. And then I'll be curling my lashes using these absolutely amazing lash curlers by Tarte. And then I'll be applying a little bit of mascara, and this will just help to make my natural lashes blend really well with the falsies. Here is the finished liner look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and maybe found some helpful little tips or ideas. As I said, doing liner is definitely something that takes a little bit of practice, and it's not always going to look the same on every single day or even on the same eye, like just trying to get the eyes to match. Sometimes our eyes can be shaped a little bit differently from one another. I know that one of my eyes is a bit more like round and the other is more almond shaped, and it's like that for a lot of people. So the eyeliner isn't always going to look completely identical to one another. The point is really just to accentuate your eyes, and even if you don't do it 100% perfect, it's totally fine. I'm sure you guys will still look beautiful, eyeliner or no eyeliner, but it's definitely something that I love to do just to accentuate my eyes. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again so much for watching. If you want more from me, you can follow me on my social media. I'm on Instagram and Snapchat, and both of those are at AnnieJaffrey. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you're having a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys! Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. It is the end of the month, or it's actually the beginning of November right now, but the month of October is officially over, and it was such